Hi everybody, I'm Sandy from Yarncraft Country. So, today we're going to finish the second part of our, what they call our gauntlet or fingerless gloves. Okay, they were done, if you watch the first part of it, they were done in the Impeccable, I believe it was like a heather gray color yarn. I've had it for so long that I didn't have the paper on it. So, but I do know where it came from. And Impeccable is from Loops and Threads it's a special brand from Michael's. Okay, I like Michael's yarn and Joann's, as I've said before. They're my two favorite places that I like buying my yarn from. So, on the first part, I finished one glove, okay, and I stitched it all up. So, but that's what I'm going to show you, how to seam the side up, what it looks like when you get it done, because I have had this one made. And so this is the first glove. Now, it's made out of number 4 weight yarn, okay, and it's a nice gray. Goes up to here. The fingerless and your ribbing falls at a nice area, and I'm going to embellish it a little bit, I think, with a button right there. I think it'll look really cute. I don't know if I'm going to put it there or if I'm going to put it here. I haven't decided yet, but I'll show you. We'll be finishing the gloves. So, when I turn the camera around, I'll show you the piece that I have done, and we'll measure it, and I'll show you how to do your seaming. Okay, so how's everybody been doing? I see there wasn't a whole lot of hits on, my project so far, which was the hat. I know it takes some time, but please don't feel overwhelmed that you can't do that hat pattern. It was the beginner hat, rib knit beginner hat, because it really isn't that hard. And if you really want to do something easy, these gloves are very easy to make, and you can make them for nice gifts. They knit up in no time, because these are done with a size 13, even though it's a worsted weight or number 4 weight yarn. Okay, so, don't be intimidated. It's really, really not that hard. It's just your knit and purl stitch. Again, it's just those 2 stitches. So, again, I want to thank everybody that did tune in, all my faithful subscribers. I know a lot of you probably maybe aren't interested in it. So as you all know that are subscribers of mine, I am part of the Fashion Girls. Stacy and I will be back with boxes, hopefully in the next couple days, because we're both getting Stitch Fix boxes. So we will be back doing our fashion boxes. We took a break for quite some time because we thought the boxes were just getting kind of stale, so to speak. And we'll get into that when we do our boxes. Okay, so again, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You'll be able to see when we come on. Hit the notification bell and the like button if you like our videos. Please put comments down what you want to see, what you don't want to see, and I'll definitely take that into consideration. So we'll be doing a lot of little projects here and there, and then we're going to do some kind of talk, some like kind of coffee or tea talk. I've been thinking about doing that. But I'll post it and I'll let you know when that's going to come about. All right. So with no further ado, we're going to go and finish this other glove. So hang on and I'll be right back. Okay. So now we're back. Alrighty. So now we're going to do, this is the piece that we finished. Okay. So that's your ribbing. And I will put this pattern down below because this kind of is my own pattern. Okay, so that's the ribbing, and then you want 7 inches, I believe, from the beginning, 7 inches in length. So here's my little trusty measuring tape that I said it's one of the supplies you should have. Let me put this up a little bit so you'll be able to see. There you go. Okay, so I believe if I measure it from here all the way up, we have 7 inches. There you go, right there. So it's 7 inches from the beginning. That's including the ribbing. You're going to do the ribbing, and you're going to do the stockinette stitch. So the whole thing measures 7 inches. You definitely want it to measure the same amount for both gloves. You don't want one glove to be shorter or longer than the other one. See? Okay. So now, I have kind of measured when I put this around my hand where, you know, where my thumb was going to be, how far up to go, because not everybody's is the same. You want it to hit about there. Okay. So that's what I kind of did on mine. Now you'll see, because it's not a bulky yarn and I use size 13, that it's a little lightweight. And that's good because I don't like real heavy driving gloves. Okay, so let me see how far up. Let's measure this. How far up? Here's the end that I went up. So if I put it to the end, well, basically I went up 4 inches. Okay, so I stitched up 4 inches. Right there. There's my 4-inch mark. Okay, so that's how much I want to stitch up to get to the thumb area. Now, is 4 inches. That's on me. Again, you check on yourself. But on me, I went up 4 inches. So, you want a yarn needle. Okay, and you see I left a long piece on here, and you'll see why I did that, because it makes it a little bit easier. However, I've a piece of yarn on one of your big yarn needles, and you can tell that's all purl and that looks knit. So the purl side is the wrong side, okay, on the stockinette. So what I'm going to do now, there's all ways to stitching. You know, there's a lot of controversy on how you should stitch. This is the way this is the way I stitch. They have all kinds called invisible stitching. If you go on YouTube, there are tons and tons of ways to, there are tons and tons of ways to stitch up. There's invisible stitches. There's your regular seaming. There's just all ways. As you see, I'm taking that in there. I'm finding the little corner stitch there. Okay, let me put this down just a tad. All right. So I'm going right in that little corner stitch. Now let me find the end. Okay. And I'm going to tie it on to secure it. Okay. I'm just going to tie it into a knot to secure it on. Okay. And then I really want to see, make sure your ribbing lines up where your ribbing ends. So my ribbing ends like kind of right there. So let me see here as far as stitches. Here's where the ribbing ends there, and the ribbing ends right there. So I kind of like almost hold it there, and this is how I go. I just sort of do like an overhand stitch through those two stitches. again, a lot of people will say, I don't do it that way, I do it this way, that way, whatever. You know, this is just the way that I do it. Okay, I might go through that again. Let me see where that stitch went. Let me get that end out of there. Okay, there we go. Hold it over. Try to kind of match up the stitches again. You know, these are for me. If they were for somebody else, I probably would do a fancier stitch. But because they're for me, and, you know, I'm kind of teaching you the basics, this is what you do. So we're just going up the ribbing first, and then I will measure it. Let me see where we're at here. Let me go through this here stitch. And don't draw them too tight either. Go through this stitch, this stitch. I mean, this is just the way my aunt had taught me all of those years ago, but, you know, again, times have changed. There's lots of ways of doing things. And again, YouTube is a wealth of information. Total wealth of information. Okay. Now, let me see if I have it on the end. Maybe one more stitch on the end of the ribbing. So we'll go through this one here. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to just turn it in. See now, so I am at the end of the ribbing. Okay. Now you can tell there are a little bit of areas there that are, you know, that seem a little open. So what you can do is you can go back when you have them done, and you can put a couple extra little overhand stitches in there. Okay. Oh, I see what I did. Okay. Well, let's do that now. So to do that, I'm just going to go back then. We kind of weave it back. See what I did? Just like kind of weave it back. And I'm going to go do another stitch in there. Maybe catch an extra one. Do another overhand one in there. Another overhand one in there again. Now let's see if we fix that. Yeah, let's see. I'm not happy with right there, but we're going up there anyway. Okay, so again, we're in that area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through those two that I don't like, because you can always fix your stitches afterwards. You know, you don't have to be, oops. Okay. Let me see where that's at. Let me see here. Did we fix it? So we kind of did. We fixed it. Okay. So if you don't like the way that looks, again, you can go back and fix it. There's one little stitch there I'm not a big fan of. Let me see. I'm up here. I'll go back. Where was that stitch? Oh, right there. And I'm just gonna go back up there. Let's see if it kind of fixed it. There you go. So it's not hard to fix up, you know, yourself. Okay, so to save on some little time, I'm going to put you on pause and I'm going to finish up the 4 inches. So Just hang on. Okay, so now I'm up to 4 inches. All right, so if I put it there, put it down to the end, put it right there, it's about 4 inches, like about a stitch, but that'll be fine. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is actually gonna go back through here, back through here. Okay, and I'm going to fasten off. Make sure, I'm going to turn the other one inside out. So let's make sure that that's the right amount that we need. Okay, so here's the end, and make sure the gloves match, which they do. The seams match. Okay, so all right, so I'm just going to make a regular knot in here. I'm sorry if I'm not in view. I'm still learning to do this. One and another, just to make sure you secure it good. Okay, I have my needle. I'm going to hide my end just like this through the seam. Stick the needle there, and I'm going to take that piece off. Okay, so if we turn it inside out to see what it looks like, that's kind of what it looks like. Now, it's going to be on the side of your hand, so you're not going to see that seam that much. It doesn't look that bad, actually. If you want it a little bit tighter, it's called an invisible seam without that extra seam. You can do it like this, and it'll show you. They have a lot of good things online of how to do seaming. This is just the only way that I'm doing it right now. Okay? All right. So, now let me get some yarn on the needle and we'll finish this up. So, hang on. Okay. Oops, sorry about that, everybody. Bring this over just a little bit. All right, now we're gonna measure. This is what we just did. This is the other glove. So we're gonna measure where we left off to the top, which isn't going to be a whole lot. So let's measure that part. So we know, now we're gonna start from the top down because we left that long end when we finished the glove, which made it a little simpler. You don't have to add another piece onto it. Okay, so that down to there is not quite 3 inches. So let's not pull that. Let me see. Okay, so it's about it's about 2 3/4 inches. Not even quite that, I don't think. Let me see. Let me see this. Right there is the end. Nope, it's like 2.5 inches. Again, we're going to measure before we... So, yeah, it's like 2.5 inches down. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do 2.5 inches down. Okay. So, here's the piece that the long end we left on, so we didn't have to attach it. Okay, again, we're going to start on that little corner. And all I did was put the needle on that long tail that we left, which made it simple. Okay, so we're going to go down 2.5 inches. Now you can mark it where you want to stop, which I would suggest. Me, I just tend to do everything on the fly, which isn't really good sometimes with knitting. I guess maybe that's why over the years I wasn't, quote, so successful at it. So let's do this. Just make sure that's secure there. And again, we're going to go through our stitches here. And we're going to do 2.5 inches down. Because you want to go down to your you want to go down to your thumb, for your thumb area. Again, don't draw it too tight. Okay. Gonna go through them. Again, don't forget now you're on the wrong side because it's the purl side. And again. Okay. And we want to do 2.5 inches. Let's see how far we went so far. This is my measuring tape here. About 1.5. Kind of buckling there a little bit, so we're just gonna go through there. Let's do this. It might have been a stitch was a little bit looser. Okay. This can be so relaxing, especially with everything that's going on right now. I enjoy doing this. This is kind of my way of escaping. Let's measure this again. So we're not quite there yet. Not quite. Let's see where this is at. I hope I didn't go up. No, sand, it's not going to mix. Okay. There. Nope. We have a little bit farther to go yet. Okay. I think this stitch might do it. The hole is only about, let me see here. Well, you know, it would have happened before too if let me see here. Of course, now this is on inside out. Maybe just one more stitch. Second, I'll come back into view. I think just like maybe one more stitch might do it. Yes, I have misjudged before, so. Okay. That's where we stopped. And it's about 1 stitch over 2.5 inches. So I think we're going to stop there. So, let me see. It's a little bit tighter than that. You know, sometimes when I was talking about tension, that's where tension sometimes has a lot to do with it. You know, as far as like when you're trying to match things up and, you know, and everybody has their own tension. So, okay, so there's my hole there for that one. There's my hole there for that one. And I think we're going to be good. Okay. So I'm just going to secure it better. Okay. And I'm securing it like that. I'm going to do an extra knot through there just in case. They're driving gloves, so, you know, I like to use them for driving anyway. Okay. There, that's really good. And then again, I'm just taking it and I'm kind of weaving it back through the seam pretty far so you don't see it. Okay, I'm going to snip it off. Okay. Now, this little end here, you want to hide, you know, you want to hide your ends then too. This end here, on the glove, I like to just tie them 2 ends together. I'm just a stickler about being secure. You know, you have a stitch or something unravels, the whole thing is going to unravel on you. Not that these aren't fast or hard, you know, they're not hard to make, but I still like to do that. And I will hide those ends then. So, okay, so we're going to turn it inside out. Hopefully, I measured right. See the little stitching? Did we do okay? And there we go. That's that glove. It's this glove. And there you go. Now, see what I said about tension? Let me put this up a little bit farther. See my gloves? This one that we just made seems like it's a little bit looser up here. Now you can fix that. You can take a little more of the seam in if you like, which I might in the top on this one. But this one I could have done a little bit looser. This one I could have done a little bit tighter. You know, let's try the different hands. It doesn't matter unless you're going to put like buttons on. Okay, so this one kind of fits better on the left hand, and this one kind of fits better on the right hand because of the tension. That's what I was saying about the gauge. It all has to do with your tension. But see, so they're even, but this one's a little bit bulkier. So I just might take that seam in just a little bit more in here. So probably what happened, I just did a little bit looser. You know, I just knitted a little bit looser. So there's our driving gloves. Okay. Now, this one, like I said, I'm probably going to take in a little bit at the top here, where what we just did. So I'm going to put that one to a side. So this glove here, if you want to, you can put a button on if you like. So I think I'm going to put a button on right here. It would look kind of cute right there. You know, right on that end there. So maybe we'll put it right here, right here. Let me fold it. Be 1, 2, 3 ribbings over. So we'll put it on right there. So I have some blue buttons here. I'm going to put one here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. This is a button here. Oh, I have gotten them a while ago. Never used them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up. And yes, you can use the yarn. Pull it through. I'm going to go down like almost like an X pattern. So I'm back on the opposite side. I'm going to tie it. Here we go. I'm going to tie it on there. Okay. And then I'm going up through this one. And I'm going to go back down through this one. So you have that cute little X there for the button. Now, am I going to do it again? I don't know. I think it's on pretty good. Once I tie it, it'll be on pretty good, pretty secure. Okay, so it's a cute little X pattern, a button there. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to tie it again. Real good and tight. And again, I'm just going to take that on the inside and I'm just going to hide the end. Okay, on this side. And I'll take the needle later and I'll hide the other end. Okay, so there's a cute little button there at the end. So I know this is going to be my right glove. Okay, with the little button there. See, it's just the little button just to add a little cuteness to it. See? So it's really cute. You could put a button there if you wanted to, but I'm just going to put the one on the end and I think it's pretty cute. So there's our gloves. Like I said, this one, the seam needs to be taken in a little bit at the top because my gauge wasn't right. But that's a good learning lesson because of the fact it's how you knit your gloves. Okay, so that's really a good learning lesson. These were done on a size 13. If you want them a little more snugger, don't forget your gauge. Your gauge is going to be changing differently. So that's a video that I have to post when I get a chance, and I'll do it soon. But you'll understand when I do that video what I'm talking about, gauge with the size of the needles, how tight you pull your thread. Okay, so that's finished. And again, I'll hide the ends. Where the heck is the end here? There you go. See, so it was just that you know, you can tell it was a little bit looser. So I'm just going to take it in. And there's my gloves, and it's gonna snow and I'll probably be using them. So I'll be right back. So hang on. Okay, so I'm back. So we finished our little gloves. Okay, our fingerless gloves are set. They're really cute. They're easy to make. Again, I will put everything down below in the video. This was my pattern. Okay, I just did it around my hand. Again, if you need to adjust where your thumb is, I will put the inches that I did mine. But if you need to adjust it where the thumb is, I will. You know, you will adjust it. You know, just wrap it around your hand and see how far up you have to go to, like, the knuckle of your thumb. So not everybody's hand is different. So thank you so much for following me on my fingerless gloves, beginner fingerless gloves. That's an easy way of doing it. There's a lot of videos out there where they knit them in the round, which maybe sometime I'll try for you. I just thought that these are easy projects. If you want to try knitting, that would be like your first project, and you can do the hat, or you can dive into whichever one you want. So again, really easy. Just keep practicing. Don't be too hard on yourself. See, I knew my gauge was a little bit loose, or my tension was a little bit loose. So I'm just going to go in, adjust the seam a little bit, and it'll be fine. You know, so don't be hard on yourself. And again, thanks for watching me, and I'll be back real soon with a new video on knitting. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do next for you. So it might be maybe a week till I figure that out for you. So till I see you again, happy knitting. And this is Sandy from Yarn Craft Country. See you again. Bye-bye now.